Picture this. 3 weeks ago, she vanished. No warning, no explanation, just silence. The conversation was flowing. Maybe you met up once or twice and everything looked normal. Then one day, nothing. You sent a message, nothing. You waited, nothing. You ran the whole mental loop every guy runs. Did I say something wrong? Did I move too fast? Was she seeing someone else? Was it all fake? And the worst part is the not knowing. Your brain hates open loops. It will replay every sentence looking for a mistake that may not even exist. But here's the key. You did the one thing most men don't do. You didn't chase. You didn't send paragraphs. You didn't try to win her back. You let the silence be what it was. You went back to your life, your work, your training, your routine. You did what a grounded man does. You refused to beg for access to you. Then, out of nowhere, she's back. A casual text appears like a knock on the door at midnight. Hey, how have you been? No mention of disappearing. No accountability. No, sorry I went quiet. Just sliding back in like you're a streaming subscription. She paused and unpaused. And this moment right here is where men either level up or relapse. Because how you respond in the next 60 seconds will teach her one of two things. Either your attention is a privilege that requires respect, or your attention is a resource she can access whenever it's convenient. Most men fail this test, not because they're weak, but because they don't understand what's really being tested. They think the test is, do you still want me? The real test is, do you have standards, even when I come back? Today, I'm going to break down exactly how to handle this situation like a man who respects himself. We'll cover why people disappear, why they come back, what her casual return usually signals, and the exact responses you can use depending on what you want. Closure, clarity, or a second chance that doesn't repeat the same pattern. This is not about punishing someone. It's not about games. It's about self-respect, emotional control, and making sure you don't rebuild a connection on a foundation of disrespect. Because anything built on that foundation collapses again. Let's start with the first truth. The return is not automatically good news. A lot of men treat a reappearance like victory. She came back. I must matter. Slow down. Someone coming back doesn't automatically mean they value you. It means they remembered you exist, and they decided the door might still be open. That's it. The value of the return is not the return itself. The value is the manner of return. How someone comes back tells you what they think is acceptable with you. If she comes back with maturity, clarity, and respect, that's information. If she comes back like nothing happened, that's also information. And information is power. If you don't let your emotions spend it immediately, why people disappear in the first place. Before you respond, you need a realistic view of what ghosting actually is, not the dramatic version, the human version. People disappear for a handful of reasons. 1. Avoidance and emotional immaturity. Some people don't know how to communicate discomfort, uncertainty, or loss of interest, so they exit silently. Not because you did something horrible, but because they don't have the skill to have an honest conversation. 2. They were exploring other options. This is common in modern dating. People talk to multiple people. Sometimes they lean into one connection, then it fades, then they circle back. 3. Their life got chaotic and they handled it poorly. Work stress, family issues, health issues, real things happen. The problem isn't that life happened. The problem is how they handled it, disappearing without communicating. 4. They like attention but don't like responsibility. Some people love the feeling of being desired, but they don't want the obligations that come with a consistent connection. Notice what's missing from this list. You weren't good enough. A disappearance is usually about their habits, their priorities, or their emotional skills. But even if the reason is understandable, the behavior still has meaning because adult relationships require communication. If someone's default stress response is silence, you will pay for that later. Why she returns. Now let's talk about the return. People come back when the emotional environment changes, when they miss something, when other things don't work out, when they feel nostalgic, when they want familiarity, or when they want to check whether they still have access. And yes, and sometimes someone comes back because they genuinely realized they handled it wrong. But again, you don't judge the return by the text. You judge it by the energy behind it. A respectful return looks like this. Hey, I owe you an apology. I disappeared. That wasn't fair. I had some things going on, and I didn't handle it well. If you're open to it, I'd like to explain and see how you feel. That's adult behavior. A casual return looks like, hey, stranger, what's up? That's not automatically evil, but it's often a probe. A probe is a low effort message that tests your availability without risking her ego. If you respond warmly and quickly, she learns you're still there. If you respond with standards, she learns that you're not easy access. This is why your response matters. What her casual return usually reveals, when someone disappears for weeks and then returns like nothing happened, it usually reveals one of three mindsets. Mindset A. She assumes you're not going anywhere. You're safe. You'll be there. You'll respond. You'll pick up where it left off. This is comfort, but it's also disrespect if it's unearned. Mindset B. She wants to avoid discomfort. Acknowledging. The disappearance requires accountability. Accountability feels uncomfortable. So she skips it and hopes you'll skip it too. Mindset C. She's keeping things casual and low investment. She doesn't want to commit to a deeper connection. She wants the benefits of access without the responsibilities of consistency. None of these mindsets are what you want if you're trying to build something real. But you don't need to insult her. You don't need to lecture her. You don't need to teach her a lesson. You need one thing: clarity. The traps that make men fail. Let's talk about why men blow this moment. Because if you've ever responded the wrong way, it usually happened because one of these internal forces took over. Trap 1. Relief. Her disappearance triggered anxiety. When she returns, relief floods your system. Relief feels good, so you reward the person who caused the anxiety in the first place. This is how men train themselves into bad dynamics. Trap 2. Curiosity. You want answers. Where was she? Who was she with? Why did she stop? Curiosity can make you engage eagerly, and eager engagement is exactly what a casual return is testing. Trap 3. Ego. I must be important if she came back. Maybe, but maybe she came back because she was bored and you were convenient. Your ego will prefer the flattering story. Reality doesn't care what your ego prefers. Trap 4. Hope. You imagine a version of the future where this becomes serious and stable. Hope makes you accept behavior you would reject from anyone else. A man with standards doesn't respond from relief, curiosity, ego, or hope. He responds from self-respect. The core principle: access to you requires basic respect. This is the principle that solves the whole situation. You don't need to be aggressive. You don't need to be dramatic. You simply need to communicate. If you want access to my time, we're not pretending the disrespect didn't happen. That's it. A healthy boundary is not punishment. A boundary is a filter. It doesn't exist to hurt someone. It exists to protect your life from patterns that waste your time. Step 1. Decide what you want. Before you respond, ask yourself, do I want a serious relationship? Do I want something casual? Do I just want closure? Do I not want anything anymore? Men get hurt because they respond without knowing what they want. If you don't know what you want, you'll default to whatever she wants. And that's how you lose the frame of your life. So decide, then respond in alignment. The best responses depending on your goal. Now I'll give you practical scripts. Use them as frameworks, not robotic lines. Keep your tone calm, respectful, and direct. Option 1. You want clarity and accountability, best for serious men. You reply, "Hey, I'm good. Last time you went quiet for a few weeks. If we're talking again, I'm not doing the disappearing thing. What happened?" That message does 3 powerful things. It stays calm. It names the behavior. It sets a standard. No anger, no accusations, just reality. If she responds with maturity, you have something to work with. If she dodges, minimizes, or gets defensive, you just learned a lot. A mature response from her might be, "You're right. I handled it badly. I was overwhelmed and I didn't communicate." That's workable. A red flag response looks like, "Why are you making it a big deal?" Or, "I was busy." Or, "I don't owe you an explanation." Listen closely. You're not demanding a report. You're assessing character. If someone cannot acknowledge basic inconsideration, they will repeat it. Option 2. You want to keep it casual, but on your terms. If you don't want depth with her anymore, but you're not emotionally triggered, you can respond with polite distance. "Hey, been busy. What's up?" Short, neutral, no energy spike. Then see what she does. If she wants to meet, you can decide whether it's worth your time. If she wants attention, you can keep it minimal. The point is, you're not rewarding the return with enthusiasm. You're matching the low investment energy with your own calm. Option 3. You're open, but you're not re-entering the old dynamic. You can be direct about standards without being hostile. "Good to hear from you. If we're reconnecting, I need consistency. I'm not interested in on and off communication." This is strong because it's not about the past. It's about the future. You're basically saying, you can be here, but not like that. And a lot of men never do this because they're afraid the woman will disappear again. If she disappears again after you set that standard, you didn't lose anything. You saved time. Option 4. The door is closed. Sometimes the best response is no response. Silence is not a tactic. It's a decision. If she disrespected you and you're done, you don't owe conversation. You don't need closure from someone who couldn't communicate in the first place. No reply is clean. It preserves your energy. It keeps your life simple. The only rule is if you ignore her fully. Don't ignore her for 3 days and then come back with a paragraph. That's not strength. That's emotion pretending to be control. Option 5. If she tries to slide into flirty territory immediately. Some women will come back and immediately flirt to bypass accountability. She'll say something like, "I miss you," or "You've been on my mind," or "When are we seeing each other?" Your response should bring it back to reality. "Maybe, but you disappeared last time. If we're meeting again, I need to understand what happened." That line protects you from being pulled into chemistry without character. Because chemistry without character is how men lose years. What you should never do. Let's make this simple. If she vanished and returns casually, do not 1. Respond with a long emotional paragraph. You're teaching her that disappearing earns your emotional investment. 2. Act like nothing happened. That tells her you accept disrespect to keep access. 3. Start interrogating her like a detective. You're not her father. You're not her therapist. You're assessing compatibility, not solving a mystery. 4. Try to win her back. A woman who disappears doesn't need to be won. She needs to show consistency. The character test, what her response tells you. Once you require basic acknowledgement, you'll see her real nature fast. Here are the categories. Green flag. She takes responsibility, apologizes, explains without excuses, and shows a plan for better behavior. Example, I should have communicated. I won't do that again. Yellow flag. She gives a vague explanation but tries. Example, I got overwhelmed. If she then shows consistency, it might be fine. Red flag. She blames you, gets defensive, or acts entitled to access. Example, you're being dramatic. That's someone who wants benefits without accountability. And here's the hard truth. Men get trapped because they keep giving red flag people one more chance without requiring any change. A second chance without new standards is not a second chance. It's the same relationship restarting at the same level of disrespect. The deeper lesson, your time is your life. This is bigger than her. This is about you. Your attention is not cheap. Your time is literally your life being spent. Every hour you invest in someone inconsistent is an hour you're not investing in your health, your business, your friendships, your purpose, or a woman who actually respects you. High-level men don't need to be rude. They just need to be selective. Selective doesn't mean arrogant. It means disciplined. It means you stop giving girlfriend-level access to someone giving stranger-level effort. How to handle it if she gives a real apology. Let's say she does it right. She says, "You're right. I disappeared. I'm sorry. I was dealing with something and I didn't communicate. I understand if you're not interested, but I'd like to see you again." Now what? You don't reward it with instant emotional investment. You keep it calm and you reset the terms. I appreciate you saying that. If we meet again, I'm not looking for anything messy. Consistency matters to me. If you're on the same page, we can grab a drink this week. You're acknowledging her effort while making the standard clear. Then you watch behavior, not words. Because a mature apology is good, but consistent behavior is the only thing that matters. A simple decision framework. If you want a clean mental framework, use this. Respect first. Did she acknowledge the disappearance? Consistency next. Does she follow through after reconnecting? Effort level. Is she meeting you halfway or taking you for granted? Your peace. Do you feel calm in this connection or constantly uncertain? If the connection costs you peace, it's too expensive. The mindset that makes this easy, you're not trying to keep her. This is where most men get it wrong. They treat the return like a negotiation where they must say the perfect thing to keep her interested. That mindset makes you weak. The correct mindset is, she's applying for access again. You're evaluating whether she qualifies. This doesn't make you harsh. It makes you stable. And stability is rare. And because it's rare, it's respected. The closing truth. When a woman comes back like nothing happened, you don't need revenge. You don't need games. You don't need to show her. You need one thing. Standards. Calm standards. Standards that don't shake when you're lonely. Standards that don't collapse when she's attractive. Standards that don't disappear when she shows you attention again. Because the man who can hold standards under temptation is the man who wins in modern dating. Not by beating women, by refusing to abandon himself. So here's the bottom line. If she comes back respectfully, You decide whether she deserves another chance. If she comes back casually, you require clarity. If she comes back entitled, you close the door. And in every case, you keep your self respect intact. Because that's the one thing that pays you back for life.